Here's Miritich. What a play. Simply drains it in at the buzzer. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. First, for the Pacers, George Hill out there with Rodney Stuckey. And starting 7'2", one of the true giants in the game, another great big man out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert. Then it's Paul George, and it's West in at the four-man position. And for Chicago, D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the backcourt. And down low, the two-time NCAA champion at Florida, the 6'11" tornado of energy and effort. It's the big man, Joakim Noah. Then there's Dunleavy, and it's Gasol at the four spot.
Well, to say that the Pacers did well in the East last season would be putting it mildly. They were the cream of the crop for most of the season.
And there was a brief moment late in the season last year, Clark, where the Pacers slipped from the top spot, but they were able to get it back.
Yeah, they did, Kevin. They fought back, grabbed the #1 seed in the East, and they did earn it. I mean, 38 conference wins is a pretty impressive number.
Now, here is Hill. Butler with the block, and they'll keep possession.
It's a quick foul to pick up here in the opening quarter.
And what you love about him is just the way he hits the offensive glass. I mean, he knows that those are the easiest points for him when he can find a loose ball, get an offensive board, and put it back into the basket.
And something else you can't forget about is his shot blocking, Steve. I mean, he's an intimidator down low.
Gasol against West. The kick out to Rose. He feeds it to Butler. 6 to shoot. The dish to Dunley. Butler. And Hibbert with the block. And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. Gasol kicks to Rose. Drains it from beyond the arc. Rose has got his first 3 points of the game.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
And it's Hill penetrating. Stuckey dishes to Hill. Shoots the three. And the rebound goes to Pau Gasol. Well, something of a bounce-back season for Pau Gasol in 2013-14. Steve, with better health, returned to playing in the middle more often.
Yeah, you know, he dealt with a few nagging injuries, Kevin, but scored better, rebounded better. Nice to see him show that he's really still an elite big after struggling a couple seasons ago.
Here's West. After the made shot from Joakim Noah.
Textbook right there. Nice pass, great catch, beautiful finish.
So first quarter just over a minute and a half in. Rose passes to Butler. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
And for Powell, in his expiring contract, trade room is spoiled all season long. That's nothing new for him. We've been hearing them for years.
They're running. Here's Dunleavy. Hammers it home. They'll polish off the break.
Guys, that's simply superb. Ball pressure, a run out, and then a dunk in transition.
Exactly, Clark, what they wanted. The aggressive defense to lead to.
Yeah, points in transition.
Yeah, that's why you want to make the other team feel uncomfortable handling the ball, because you can get easy points out of it at the other end.
And so it's Indiana with it. The Bulls getting the bucket. And George kicks it to West. And he gets it to go. West has got his second bucket.
And Powell last season making $20 million a year. Hard for the Lakers to trade him when they wanted cap space. In the end, he found a new home and a new start in free agency.
Rose. Excellent D there from Hill.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
They get it back. Another shot, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Great job. Take it right at the defense. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah, he left them no choice but to foul there.
Indiana shooting their second and third free throws tonight.
Well, you look back at a season ago, this is a club that made 78% of its shots from the free throw line, so very comfortable with that strike.
You know, Kevin, they would love to post a similar percentage again this season. I mean, I think that's safe to say they'd love to shoot free throws as well as they did a year ago.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. And he's good on the second. Roy Hibbert, one of the biggest players in the league, Clark, 7'2", last season, bulking up to 290 pounds.
Yeah, he wanted to get stronger to better hold his position in the low post. And for a good portion of the season, he did that when he fell back into some old habits. You know, when he first joined the Pacers, the coach had him slim down to 250 pounds because the type of game the Pacers are playing is a little different. But he's a player who's best playing to his strength. And we mean that literally.
Heinrich dishes to McDermott. Back to Heinrich. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Kirk Heinrich in his 12th season out of Kansas. Remember covering this guy in college. Still a quality defensive combo guard. At 6'4", tremendous IQ and anticipation really helps him at the defensive end. And he's, I think, a little underrated offensively, too.
Mahimi's checked in for the Pacers. Chris Copeland comes in for George. And Heinrich playing big numbers for the Bulls last season. Steve, his shooting percentages have started now to tail off over the last few years.
You know, I think his defense is really what keeps him on the court at this point, Kevin. Offensively, still a good playmaker and a decision maker, but he's not going to be a big scorer.
Watson's shot is off.
Looked like he rushed that one, guys. The defense was out of position. He was wide open, just couldn't take advantage.
There it is, guys, that Olay defense. Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could have.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. As we get set to get going once again. Hey, during the break, players getting a chance to refuel and hydrate with some Gatorade, as there is more basketball in store. And taking a look at Chicago's performance here, Clark and Steve, what have they been doing or not doing?
And they've done a nice job here offensively to establish a rhythm and a pace to this game.
And I like that they're finding ways to score, playing well here, Steve.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, interestingly, guys, Joe Kim Noah draws inspiration from music. Not the typical selections you might think. He is a huge reggae fan. Noah said, quote, "People think reggae is such happy music, but really listen to the lyrics. It's about empowerment. It's about uniting people. It gives me strength on the floor." Guys?
Noah, definitely a unique player and character in the NBA. Good to see. Good kid. Thank you, Doris.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They've got to get more intense. You know that if you're a team in the East or anywhere in the NBA for that matter, to face the Bulls, it's going to be a battle wire to wire. These guys are coming at you for the full 48 minutes. They're extremely tough within the conference, too.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for Chicago.
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passing. That could set the tone for the rest of the game.
And I like the physical play we're seeing, too, because this is a club that's really pounding the paint area and scoring inside.
Scola, 11 feet away. Shot is off. Heinrich up top. Pass to Snell. His three-pointers off the mark. Pacers trail by 6. And there's the foul. It'll go on Nikola Mirotic. That is his first foul of the game.
Well, he tried to step in and cut him off, but just not quick enough.
And we have the benefit of replay, but I think they got that one right, which is the case most times, even though fans don't think so.
Second quarter of basketball, just over a minute and a half played so far. Watson, the pass to Mahimi. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
Well, that's how you send it. 2 hands and hammer it down.
A lot of positive, Steve, for the Pacers last year and how they started the season. And, you know, Clark, you saw this firsthand.
Damn, I should have put, no, forget Tosh.
every night, dominating early, but they did have a falling off point.
Yeah, after the All-Star break, they went from looking unbeatable to looking like just another team, but they were able to gather themselves just in time and make a deep playoff run.
Here's Mirotic. Heinrich kicks to Snell. Shot clock at 6. Back to Heinrich. Fires the 3. Rebound by Mahinmi. Pacers trail by 3. Here is Miles.
Don't leave.
And there's a minute 45 left now here in the second. Here's Gibson. And the shot is good. Gibson's got 5.
You know, with the Pacers, although they didn't end the regular season as they might have wanted to, they were still able to rest a number of players down the stretch and prepare for their playoff run, which ended up with the conference finals.
And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. Over and back. Indiana making some changes. West comes in for Mahinmi. And George Hills subbed in for Luis Scola. Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone. Rose kicks to Mirotic. Snell dishes to Rose.
What is that?
Noah against West. West with some nice D.
Let's go.
He's far too tentative in the paint, and even more so when the defender is up tight on him like that time.
Some changes for Indiana. Luis Scola, he's checked in for Chris Copeland. Rodney Stuckey subbed in for C.J. Watson. There's a minute left here in the second. Rose against Hill. And it's Rose penetrating. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Rose has got 5 points so far.
Well, the Pacers were running away with the Eastern Conference last year, and I think they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit in the second half of the year. They struggled at times, made some moves, but ultimately righted the ship and made a deep play.
And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
They can handle that pressure.
36 seconds left to play here in the half. He kicks to McDermott. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. And now the fast break. Hill with the ball. And David West, the bucket on the assist by Hill. And that's now 6 points for David West. The 10th. West with some nice D. Now
quick.
Here is Hill.
He was just behind.
Looking for his first basket still in this one. And that one's good.
We can't even play.
Here's Mirotic. What a play. Simply drains it in at the buzzer.
How about that one? A perfect finish to the half for them to tack another 3 points onto their lead.
Like that.
Close game as we wrap up the second quarter. Bull.
And now, brought to you by Sprint. The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
A view here from below, a statue that transcended Michael Jordan, the all-time great Chicago Bull. One of the stories here, David West, getting it done today.
I like that he didn't force anything in that first half. His decision-making was really flawless.
That being the case, Steve, I think they want him to be more assertive in the second half. Look to take more shots. Be a little more shot hungry, even the tough ones.
The Chicago Bulls consistently one of the best defensive teams in basketball. Tom Thibodeau is an innovator on that side of the floor and great motivator as well. He's done an amazing job.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Well, Kevin, Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau worked with Clippers coach Doc Rivers in Boston for many years, and they remain close friends, often sharing notes. Rivers said of Thibodeau, he's the best mind I've ever been around. People keep expecting them to fall, but he holds them together. It's his system, but it's more just his way. He simply doesn't relent, Kevin.
He makes his players believe, Doris. That's something they both share in common. Thank you. Bulls center Joakim Noah, winning Defensive Player of the Year last season. Well-deserved. A big factor for him inside.
And, you know, Kevin, you can make a case with the talent they have, arguably being the premier defensive front line in the NBA.
Agreed. Hill, no good. Chicago leading by 7. Rose kicks it to Noah. Paul George with the steal. One-on-one fast break. Hill passes to Stuckey. And the shot is good.
That bounce pass got him the ball in rhythm. Nice play.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. Third quarter of basketball, about a minute and a half in. Rose against Hill. Gasol. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Pau Gasol over the last few seasons dealing with a number of lower body injuries. Knee tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, groin, toe. I'll tell you, Kobe had suggested him to try to really slim down to lessen the pressure on his joints.
And Pau never really the brilliant, but for 7-footers, getting as wide as possible can really reduce the pounding on those joints.
Yeah, it does. They say every 5 pounds takes some significant wear and tear off your joints. And we've certainly seen that be effective for Tim Duncan. He's leaned up considerably, and Powell able to play both power forward and center. I think the lighter weight will serve him well.
Chicago leading by 7. Rose dishes to Noah. Rose kicks to Butler. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Hill. Hill left side. And he gets it to go. Hill's got 5 points so far. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Here's Rose. Takes it off the glass. And the Bulls lead by 7.
That's really told the story today, guys. I mean, throughout this game, they've been able to get the ball in tight and then finish.
Yeah, Clark, they've been more active and more physical down low, and I think that's been the difference.
Hill against Rose. Hill kicks to Stuckey. And it's off from 3-point range. For Chicago, they've gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime. And finished off by Rose.
With that reverse jam, the fans got a little extra show there.
That one definitely had something, you're right, extra on it.
That was one of those 3 or 4 plays that you see every night in an NBA game that just leaves you in awe.
Hibbert with a screen for George. Pass to Hibbert. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Hibbert's got 4 this quarter.
Well executed possession. They controlled the shot. Nicely done.
Rose attacking. Butler kicks to Rose. Dunleavy defended by George. Dunleavy the pass to Butler. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Pacers trail by 7. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here's Hill, Hibbert, and down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist. Well, as far as the defense goes, Clark, that is not what's going to keep them in this league.
Yeah, but from the other perspective, you can see just how much that dunk pumped those players up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, guys. I sense a little bit of a momentum shift here. Should probably use a little clock here.
Yep, make this the very last possession.
Rose dishes to Butler. And Troy Hibbert with the rebound. Hibbert's got 4 rebounds in this game. From half court, no good. The third quarter comes to a close. It's the Bulls up. Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
Boy, guys, I really like how they've driven the ball to the basket in this game. I mean, they've been very aggressive with it.
The other thing that jumps out to me is just the big number of assists they've had. The offensive efficiency has been a major factor.
Hill against Heinrich. He dishes it to Dunley. Butler on the way. Launches it. Hill pulls it in.
That's a shot you've got to take if you're looking for the three-pointer. I mean, the defense was nowhere around.
And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
You have to wonder, as we've seen Paul George go from good to great and then from great to fantastic the last couple of seasons, what's his ceiling? I mean, with his size and skill set, there's very little that he can't do on the floor.
Joakim Noah is checked in for Pau Gasol.
That's a familiar. Your sight, he hardly ever wastes his chances at the line. Cashes in regularly.
Outside Butler. He passes to Heinrich. Good on the triple. And the Bulls lead by 3. Apart for Paul George, it's incredible to think that he was taken as late as he was in the draft, but as you said earlier, his ceiling is through the roof, and he's right up there with LeBron and KD as the best threes in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. Really nice to watch his development. Made progress each year. They take an incredible amount of hard work for him to surpass either of those two in the grand scheme of things, but I wouldn't doubt anything when it comes to Paul George's ceiling. It's just going to be a matter of his commitment to the work and staying focused on realizing his tremendous God-given ability.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Tony Snell comes in for Mike Dunley. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Kirk Heinrich.
Boy, that was impressive. Major height disadvantage, but he still got the shot up over his man.
Well, he's got the poise to handle any matchup, and he's not easily intimidated. You can see that there.
There you go.
Outside Hill. And the Pacers call time here. Catch up with Doris from the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He told them to stick with what's worked to this point, saying, listen, they're giving us all the space we need inside. Let's take advantage of it. Keep working the ball inside the paint.
Thanks a lot, Doris. Fast break. Here comes Chicago.
Oh, my God.
And West running the floor all by himself.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition plan for the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
West setting the pick for George. Takes the lead pass. Butler with the block. Stolen away. Mahinmi kicks to Stucker. And George, here we go. Swiped away. Here we go, one-on-one. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Just watch how well he defends, guys. I mean, you can always put him on an opposing team's best player and feel pretty good about the matchup.
That's because, Steve, he can instantly read what his man's strengths and weaknesses are, and then he'll neutralize those strengths and exploit the weaknesses.
And Indiana making a change here. Hibbert's checked in. Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation. Hill kicks to George. It's back to Hill. Outside, George. Indiana again missing.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Or the defenders have to make sure they tag.
And slam dunk by Butler. A free run to the hoop and some thunder on the finish.
Not exactly the way the D would have drawn that one up.
And when you got the space, you might as well throw it down. That's what I always used to do.
He's still looking for his first three-pointer of the second half after making just one in the first.
Back to Rose. Passes it to Snell. Clock at 6. Back to Rose. The Bulls need to get a shot off here. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth. Here's Stuckey. It's in! Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it.
And they go to the intentional foul. First free throw is good, and that increases their lead to 6. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 7-point game.
Free throws go down, and the lead goes up.
Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by. The Bulls have gone an outstanding 4 of 5 from the field in the fourth quarter so far. Butler passes to Gibson. Back to Butler. Feeds it to Snell. There's the pass to Rose. Right side Rose. And so it's Chicago winning this one.